Batman: Arkham Asylum is a 2009 action-adventure game developed by Rocksteady Studios and published by Eidos Interactive in conjunction with Warner Bros. Interactive Entertainment. Based on the DC comic book superhero Batman and written by veteran Batman writer Paul Dini, Arkham Asylum was inspired by the long-running comic book mythos. In the game's main storyline, Batman battles his archenemy, the Joker, who instigates an elaborate plot to seize control of Arkham Asylum, trap Batman inside with many of his incarcerated foes, and threaten Gotham City with hidden bombs. The game is presented from a third-person perspective, with a primary focus on Batman's combat and stealth abilities, detective skills, and gadgets that can be used to combat and exploration. Batman can freely move around Arkham Asylum facility, interacting with characters and undertaking missions, and unlocking new areas by progressing through the main story or obtaining new equipment. The player is able to complete side missions away from the main story to unlock additional content and collectible items. Combat focuses on chaining attacks together against numerous foes while avoiding damage, while stealth allows Batman to conceal himself around an area using gadgets and the environment to silently eliminate enemies. Development began at Rocksteady Studios in May 2007 with a 40-person team that expanded to 60 people by the project's conclusion after approximately 21 months. Among others, the game's design was inspired by Batman pen works of Neil Adams and Frank Miller and Grant Morrison's Arkham Asylum, a serious house on a serious Earth graphic novel. Built in the Unreal Engine 3, Arkham Asylum's production underwent several variations, refining both gameplay such as the combat system and central story, resulting in the removal of plot elements and some of Batman's main enemies who did not fit the tone of the rest of the game. Rocksteady began developing ideas for a sequel months before Arkham Asylum's completion, hiding hints to the sequel within the game. Arkham Asylum was released worldwide on PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 video game consoles in August of 2009, followed by a Windows version. The game received critical acclaim, particularly for its narrative and combat. Upon release, many reviewers called it the greatest comic book game of all time. It won several awards, including Best Action Adventure Game, Best Game, Game of the Year from various media outlets, and it held the Guinness World Record for most critically acclaimed superhero game ever. It has been cited as one of the greatest video games ever made. The game received several re-releases, including a Game of the Year edition in 2010 and a remastered version in 2016. Arkham Asylum's success launched the Batman Arkham series, comprising of video game sequels and spin-offs, comic books, merchandise, and movies, beginning in 2011 with its direct sequel, Arkham City. Now, Arkham Asylum is set in the fictional Arkham Asylum, a facility on Arkham Island off the coast of Gotham City that houses the criminally insane supervillains. The game features a large ensemble cast of characters from the history of Batman comics. 3 voice actors who worked in the DC Animated Universe series of films and television reprised their roles for the game. Kevin Conroy voices Batman, a superhero trained to the peak of his human physical perfection and an expert in martial arts. Mark Hamill voices the Batman's psychopathic nemesis, the Joker, and the Joker's sidekick, Harley Quinn, is voiced by Arlene Sorkin. Batman is aided by his allies, Oracle, voiced by Kimberly Brooks, who remotely provides him with intelligence, and Police Commissioner James Gordon, voiced by Tom Kane. In the asylum, Batman is faced with several supervillains he must defend himself from. An enraged Bane, voiced here by Fred Tatasciore, subdue indiscriminate serial killer Victor Zsasz, voiced by Danny Jacobs, confront the monstrous killer Croc, voiced by Steve Blum, and defeat the plant-controlling Poison Ivy, voiced by Tasia Valenza, and battle his way through the hallucinogen-induced nightmares created by the Scarecrow, voiced by Dino Andrade. The Riddler, voiced by Wally Wingard, does not physically appear in the game, but communicates with Batman and challenges him to solve riddles placed around the island. Other characters appearing in the game include Asylum's warden Quincy Sharp, also voiced by Kane, Batman's parents, Thomas and Martha Wayne, voiced by Conroy and Valencia respectively, and Asylum guard Aaron Cash. The shape-shifting Clayface appears in a cameo, taking on the guise of other characters as he tries to trick the player into releasing him. The Mad Hatter was almost included in the game, but developers removed him. The body of Ra's al Ghul in the Asylum's morgue and the ventriloquist dummy Scarface appear several times throughout the story. Several other characters, including the Penguin, Jack Ryder, Mr. Freeze, Two-Face, Catwoman, and the Asylum's founder, Amadeus Arkham, are referenced in the game, but do not appear in it. Now, I had played parts of this game some years back, but recently decided to play the full game, and complete the story as it were. Now, for a game that's made in 2009, this game is absolutely magnificent. Look, first and foremost, I'm a huge Batman fan, so roping me in to play a Batman game wasn't too hard. But what I love about this game is it stays true to the character, and fundamentally remains a very grounded and realistic take on the character as well, with some supernatural elements added to boot. Firstly, the engaging storyline is what really grabs you from the offset. The story, of course, is penned by famed writer Paul Dini, a prominent Batman writer. It places Batman in the iconic Arkham Asylum, where he must thwart the Joker's plans and face a variety of his most notorious villains. The story is gripping, well written, and captures the essence of the Batman world perfectly. The game setting here of Arkham Asylum is meticulously designed and oozes a dark and gothic atmosphere. The creepy and claustrophobic environment enhances the feeling of being in the heart of Batman's world. This game, of course, also introduced a unique free-flow combat system that allowed players to seamlessly move between enemies and counterattacks and combos. For me, even to this day, the combat is still fluid, satisfying, and makes players feel like you're the Caped Crusader. The game also features stealth mechanics that lets you employ Batman's stealth abilities and take down enemies silently, such a big part of Batman's array of skills and tactics. For me as well, the character models and animations were so detailed and the voice acting is exceptional. Many of the voice actors, of course, from the Batman animated series reprise their roles and just lend this authenticity to the game. I mean, who better than getting Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill to voice Batman and the Joker respectively, two of the most iconic voices, and so recognizable within these two characters. I also love how the game allows you to explore the island, uncovering secrets, solving puzzles and finding collectibles. And the game also features some very challenging and memorable boss battles against the iconic Batman villains, each with their own unique mechanics and strategies. Although some of them can be somewhat repetitive, but you've also got to take it into context of when the game was made. I found the detective mode very innovative. It was a feature that allowed players to analyze the environment, highlight interactive objects and follow trails. It added an investigative aspect to the gameplay, perfect for the Batman universe. What this game does, though, is it really understands fundamentally what the mythos is behind the Batman folklore and world. It captures the experience of Batman's gadgets, vehicles, and abilities firsthand, not to mention the darker, more suppressed side of the character. At the time, of course, Arkham Asylum set a new standard for superhero games that spawned a successful series, which continued to, of course, build on the foundation laid by the first game. Overall, I can see why this game is considered a masterpiece of game design. For me, even to this day, this game still translates the essence of Batman into an immersive and engaging video game experience. It is often cited as one of the best superhero games ever made, and I fully agree with this. Even playing it now, it still holds your interest, it still grabs you, and it still is an immersive, wonderful experience. From its fantastic storyline, phenomenal game dynamics, and fantastic voice work, Batman Arkham Asylum gets a 9 out of 10.